Okay, so today I'm going to be working on a snowblower that was given to us, actually donated to us as a church, and apparently the shift lever here had broke off, and oops, yeah, knocking all the tools down. But anyway, the shift lever here, which was attached to this, there's a little metal piece that had rusted. It looks like it rusted off and busted off, and so no longer could be shifted again. So I looked up the parts for this. This is actually the whole piece here. This whole thing has to come off. It's actually called a spring, believe it or not, and because it pushes the I guess the lever against these grooves here so it doesn't bump out of there while the blower is going and shift gears on its own, because it's pretty easy here. And any case, so we're going to pull this off, and then we're going to put the new spring on and see how it goes. And so that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to lubricate this nut and this screw so this will come off in a little easier fashion. So I don't know what happened to my WD-40, so I'm just going to put a little 1040 oil on here and just lubricate it, and maybe put some there also. Oops, I want it all over the place, but that's okay. And so I'm going to just let that set in for a little bit, and then I will begin to loosen that nut so we can put on the new spring. Okay, so we're going to get to that. Okay, so I am using a metric socket on this, and basically this will hold this way, so I'm not going to worry about using a screwdriver to hold it, and it should be enough where I can break this, which I just did. Broke the nut. Off the screw part of this shaft, and there it is, which was not that tough of a job to do. Actually very easy. And look, that just comes right out, which is good. Okay, so we're going to get our new spring, and I bought this part. Now this part new. I had a little hard time finding this part. Couldn't find it in some of the schematics for this model, and apparently, though I finally found it and knew it would run probably around 20 bucks, which is not a lot of money, but I actually found it on eBay for probably half that price, and so I took a chance on it, and the part seems just as well, seems just as good. The metal looks very good on it. Let me twist off this braid that they have on. As you can see, this is the new one. A little discoloration, but it's not bad. And what I'm going to do is, because the old piece rusted and broke off here, I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm going to, you can't miss with it. Alright, so that must go on like this. Yep, there it is. So I'll put it that way, and I'm going to oil this shaft up. And let me just say, especially in weather where corrosion happens a lot, oil and grease are one of the best rust inhibitors that you can find. Matter of fact, the old timers used to use it where they would oil up the undercarriages of their cars to help prevent the salt from rusting things out. It's terrible in states where they use salt You know, it just destroys cars. It's almost not worth buying a new car in these salt states, because it's just, you know, it just devalues them so much, and it depreciates them. And that's why when you roll a new car off a lot, it immediately goes down in price. I mean, especially in salt states. You know, cars could last so much longer if they didn't use salt. They found another type of ingredient that could bring down the ice and give traction to the cars, because salt just destroys cars. It destroys the metal and the undercarriages on cars. And that's why it's so necessary to get it undercoated. But oil is one of the best things that you can use to prevent rust from happening to any kind of metal surface. You know, I've had different areas of different cars rust out, and so, you know, oil is a big thing, or grease, and it's messy, but it will help inhibit salt, or rust I should say, from destroying metal surfaces. Okay, so I have that lubricated and ready to go, and let me just wipe my hands down here with a rag. And this is probably why some people don't want to get in these kind of jobs, because you know, it can be a little messy, it can be a little dirty. I repair anything mechanically, you know, from cars to, you know, small engines to appliances, you name it, I have repaired it. And just the Lord has given me a God-given ability for that, and I don't mind. I don't mind getting my hands dirty every now and then. Can't always have them dirty, but I don't mind every now and then getting them dirty to repair these things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on the nut back on. And I believe that is for that. Maybe it goes on. No, I don't think so. Can't go on the other way. And it doesn't go back there. It's got to go here. So, okay. We'll put it on there. I don't see other way, because this thing has got to hold to the grooves there, so for it to be in line. Alrighty. And so I'm going to tighten that up. And we're about there. Give it just a snug fit. Don't have to be too tight. It's moving easy, and that's what I want. All this is oiled up here, so it's got some protection against corrosion that will happen in the future. Something I'll probably check every now and then just to make sure it's okay. And so now I need to find my little shift, and I will do that in just a minute. Okay, so we are ready to put on the shift lever onto the little spring or bracket, whatever you want to call it, and I believe it goes like this, because I see here some scoring from the bolt head, so I believe it goes like this. I didn't get this, and I didn't see how it was attached at first. So, and I did put some oil in the screw on this already. And we will attach it. And it's a 13.5 inch metric socket. And so I'm just going to bring it down a little bit here. And perhaps this goes on the outside. I don't know. It's possible, but it's okay, because it looks like it's working. This is holding it in the groove like it needs to. This is what the spring is supposed to do. Okay, so that is set. Boy, I wish I had my WD-40 here. I don't know what I did with that. something that a mechanic always needs is WD-40. We always need to be spraying light oil on things. Much easier to spray than pour. And but that's okay. This will work too. And that goes right in. Just wipe my hands here. And we'll put this in also. And I'm happy because it's all pretty much oiled up. And hopefully this will last for many years. I'll be watching it. Make sure there's not a lot of corrosion happening again. Actually, I might put some heavy grease on that shaft, that spring too, just to give it some added protection. And you just snug things. One thing I had to learn when I first started mechanic work, you don't tighten things too tight because you'll snap bolts or snap, you know, around the bolt heads, and you don't want to do that. So just a little snug, tight enough that you know it's going to hold. And so, yeah, that's a nice lever tension there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit further here so you can see things. And so, yeah, it's got nice tension, easy to move and shift. And there you go. So what I got to do now is I'm going to put some air in the tires, and then I'm going to put the spark plug back in. I won't put you through all that, and then we're going to just start it and see how it runs, and I will record that. So I'll see you in the next part of this video. Okay. You know, I just want to say here too. Now, like I say, this was broken, but I would just want to say to you people out there that, you know, to buy one of these things new, you're spending easily hundreds and hundreds of dollars, $600, $700, sometimes $800 or more, depending what kind of snowblower you get. And what do you use it 2-3 times a year, maybe a little bit more, if that much. Especially the way our winters have been here in Rochester. You know, I could see if we were out there using it all the time, but you know, you can buy one of these things used, and not even broken, used for $100, maybe a couple $100 at the most. And if you have any kind of little bit of a mechanical aptitude, you could easily, if something breaks down, easily repair it. It's so much more feasible to have something like that than spending $700-800 on a new machine. And even these newer machines sometimes are not as good as some of the older machines. I got a couple older snowblowers, and they are better than even some of the new machines. These two-stage snowblowers, they throw the snow, they dig up the snow better than these newer ones. So, you know, it's worthwhile, to be honest with you, to get something that is cheaper, maybe used. I've been finding that even in cameras. This camera I'm recording with right now is used. It's a Kodak Power Shot, but it does the job, and I've got it for a good price. And until I'm ready to go to something better, I'll probably buy something used again. I'm not going to spend my money on some of this new stuff when the used items can be just as good. You know, so, you know, something to think about. And you know, this one out of all my snowblowers I've had, this one here has an electric start. And so, I mean, none of my others even have that. And like, wow, okay, I never had one with electric start. How many times I wished when it was so cold out and snowed that, you know, that I wish I had electric start, where I'm just pulling, and then finally trying to put some gas in the carb to get it started. And by the time I get it started, my arm is all worn out. So, you know, it's just something to think about. And used can be just as good as new, and that comes in all types of items, not just mechanical items. It can be in all kinds of things. People think unless they buy new, they're not going to get the best. You know, used can be sometimes just as good. Okay, with that, I'm going to get everything else going on this blower, and then hopefully it'll start, and we're going to see what it does. Okay. Okay, so I got the snowblower running. Unfortunately, when I pulled the cord, after a couple pulls, the rope broke. But it does move. I did a little bit of snow blowing there. I can't say I'm too impressed with it, but let me just show you how it moves. I'll put this in second gear. There's the shift working, and there she goes. So she's traveling. Hard to do both features at once. So there it goes. I think the hardest thing for me to do was get the air in the tires. One tire wasn't easy to reset, and I had to really struggle with it. But in the end, I got air in both tires. It is running. I got to change the oil, and then I'll go through it a little better. But it is running, and so there you have it. The shift lever is fixed, and one repair not needed. Now I got to do another repair on it. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and if you like, please subscribe and like. If you need to share it, share it. Okay, God bless, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.